I have been covering what I believe are some of the best ETFs for maximizing dividend income and growth, with an emphasis on minimizing downside risk. Now, when building an ETF portfolio, I believe investors should have what I like to call core anchors, which are ETFs that you dollar cost average into regardless of market conditions, serving as long-term holdings for your portfolio. And everything else, whether that's semiconductor ETFs, should serve as a complement to that core. Depending on your risk appetite, you may choose a different ETF, but these core anchors, in my opinion, have to incorporate three factors. The first is growth ability. Exposure to various market sectors such as technology, consumer staples, and industrials at a weight that doesn't exclude you from market momentum. The second is dividend growth and a dividend yield that allows your income to increase incrementally over time. And the third is risk management ability. These ETFs have to manage risk better than the overall market, and this is the most important criteria. The key is their stock selection strategy or management style, whether that's screening for dividend growth history, payout ratio, or yield. This is where you can truly understand how an ETF performs and whether it belongs in your portfolio. In this video, I'm going to cover my top 3 core dividend ETF anchors, ranked from third to first place in terms of growth potential, with the note that risk management ability decreases as we go down the list. The first one on the list is DGRO, which is the iShares Core Dividend Growth ETF. And this ETF has been one of my favorite qualified dividend ETFs for a long time. DGRO was established in June of 2014, so it has a very long track record and a very low expense ratio of only 0.08%, making it also very cheap and very liquid. The ETF has consistently been able to provide strong returns while also minimizing portfolio volatility extremely well. This is especially important right now because it's giving investors a way to continue to capitalize on any remaining upward momentum while providing better risk mitigating properties compared to the S&P 500. When you look at its performance in the bear market of 2022, the ETF only lost around 8%. And since the start of this insane volatility, the ETF has also been able to outperform the S&P 500, showing its ability to minimize volatility. Now, since inception, it has slightly outperformed SCHD, and majority of the outperformance came in the past 2 years. This is strictly because of its larger emphasis on growth and technology. The way this ETF works is actually very simple, but also extremely effective. The ETF starts by choosing stocks that provide qualified dividends that are not in the top 10% of highest dividend yielding assets. So the ETF wants to avoid any assets that provide exceptionally high yields because they tend to be dividend traps. Next, the ETF screens for 5 consecutive years of dividend growth, just like SCHD. The next criteria is a sub 75% payout ratio. I personally love this criteria, and what this means is that it focuses on companies that return less than 75% of their earnings to shareholders in the form of dividends. And this is very good for a couple of reasons. A payout ratio under 75% suggests that the companies are retaining a significant portion of their earnings, at least 25% for reinvestment, which can support future earnings growth and sustainability of dividends. Also, companies with lower payout ratios tend to have a financial buffer, making them less likely to cut dividends during downturns or periods of financial distress. This simple criteria gives the ETF the ability to benefit from strong capital appreciation, but is also why the dividend yield of the ETF is not that high. DGRO is very well diversified with over 400 individual assets and allocates no more than 3% to each holding, giving it an extra step for mitigating risk. And honestly, I can't really think of a downside to this ETF. I really feel that it's an ETF to hold for the long term. The next ETF on the list is FDVV, which is the Fidelity High Dividend ETF. And this ETF is extremely unique. FDVV has had a phenomenal performance over the past 3 years and has been able to crush many other passive dividend ETFs while still providing a very strong dividend yield of around 3%. The ETF was established in 2016 with an expense ratio of only 0.15%, and in my opinion, FDVV can provide investors with fantastic exposure to the markets and future growth. In the bear market of 2022, FDVV provided similar returns to SCHD, losing less than 5%, beating DGRO. And since then, the ETF has crushed its peers, providing superior total returns, even better than the S&P 500, which is insane. And it has been amongst the best performers in the recent market volatility. And Seeking Alpha is the only platform that provides these types of charts, along with details on dividend health scores, dividend growth, dividend yield, and distribution trends. But there's also so much more to explore, from in-depth fund analysis and historical returns to AUM trends. I personally use Seeking Alpha every single day for my videos and for the ETF analysis process. If you want to use the same tools I use, you're in luck because Seeking Alpha's summer sale has officially started. You can get $75 off their premium plan, and that gives you access to all of the same charts and tools I use. So definitely check it out, don't miss out. You can use the link in my description or scan the QR code on screen to get access to the discount. You can also get $124 off their Alpha Picks portfolio or $173 off their Alpha Picks and Premium bundle. I have been using both for about 3 years now. Alpha Picks is their quant-driven stock portfolio that uses quant and momentum metrics to find potentially powerful long-term growth names, which I personally use to complement my ETF portfolio. And the portfolio is now up 400% versus the S&P 500's 100%. They have so far caught the trend in names like Micron, Celestica, Credo Tech, and AMD well before they boomed. Of course, past performance does not guarantee future results. Definitely check it out and take advantage of the sale while it lasts. Again, you can scan the QR code on screen or click the link in the description to get access. When you look at the fund's holding breakdown, you see a healthy mix of different sectors. When you look at the fund's top 10 holdings, you see the 4 biggest technology stocks, Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, and Broadcom, at the top, making up 18% of the entire portfolio. The allocation towards real estate, utilities, and consumer defensives, while holding a significant portion in technology, is giving the ETF the ability to capitalize on upward movement within the tech sector while still providing a strong dividend yield. The ETF uses 3 screening tactics, and those are dividend yield, dividend payout ratio, and dividend growth. And the significance of each criteria heavily impacts the overall holdings. That is what the weight number represents. So clearly the ETF puts a heavy emphasis on dividend yield. That is why it has a 70% weight. Now, FDVV uses trailing dividend yield over the last 12 months. And this simply takes assets with the highest dividend yield over the last 12 months. Simple. So this naturally includes assets like REITs and utilities because they tend to have the highest dividend yields. Now, one thing to know is that the dividend yield provided from REITs falls under non-qualified dividends, which means that likely a portion of the yield distributed from FDVV will be taxed as regular income. The next screening criteria are the trailing dividend payout over the last 12 months and the trailing dividend growth over the last 12 months. But what's extremely unique here is that the fund doesn't screen for 5 years of historical dividend growth like other well-known ETFs, such as CGDV or DGRO. It only looks at the past 12 months. This criteria allows the ETF to include companies that are showing growing strengths in their ability to generate strong cash flow, resulting in strong dividend growth. There are many companies that exhibit very healthy financials and strong earnings growth, but have just recently started distributing a dividend, and the amount of dividends they provide may not be that much. And big name technology stocks fall under this category, such as Apple and Microsoft. Even companies that have just started distributing dividends could qualify for this ETF, which is why Nvidia is also included in the fund's holdings. So this criteria allows the ETF to invest in many strong growth opportunities alongside strong dividend stocks, providing a very interesting balance. That is why when you look at the ETF's total performance side by side with SCHD, it has been able to crush it. But when you look at the bear market of 2022, the ETF provided the same level of downside risk mitigation. Now, one thing to note, when you look at the fund's performance since inception, it was heavily lagging behind SCHD in the recovery of 2020. And the main reason is because the ETF suffered almost 10% more in the pandemic sell-off. When you look at its performance from the inception date to right before the pandemic, it was neck and neck with SCHD. Now, I think this happened because the ETF doesn't use long-term dividend metrics like the other 2 ETFs. Instead, it only focuses on the last 12 months. So in a black swan event, these companies that lack strong dividend history will likely cut their dividend, which is why they may suffer more downside compared to other dividend stocks. And that is really the main downside that I see with this ETF. And of course, the 10% allocation towards real estate may be concerning to some investors because of its sensitivity towards interest rates. Now, the last ETF on the list is probably one of my favorite ETFs of all time, and that is CGDV, which is the Capital Group Dividend Value ETF. The ETF has been gaining a lot of momentum over the past 2 years, and its assets under management have been growing at a staggering pace. You see, CGDV is one of very few dividend ETFs that is actively managed. Now, CGDV was established on February 22nd, 2022. CGDV has been one of the best performing ETFs, not only relative to its peers, but it has outperformed the S&P 500 and the QQQ since inception. And the craziest part is that CGDV provides superior downside risk mitigation to both, with a beta value that is almost in line with DGRO. In the bear market of 2022, although it missed the first month and a bit, CGDV provided similar returns to its peers, losing only 2.8%, heavily outperforming the S&P 500. But since then, the momentum and growth of the ETF has been astronomical. And ever since the start of this insane market volatility, the ETF has heavily outperformed the S&P 500, proving its ability to minimize volatility. And what I love the most is that it has been able to outperform without big tech being the primary driver. Now, the reason I want to emphasize the holding breakdown here is because many popular dividend ETFs like SCHD focus on industrials because this sector is known to provide stability and a high dividend yield, so CGDV also embodies those characteristics, but then it combines it with a significant allocation towards technology and healthcare and an active management style, allowing it to not only benefit from the continued AI momentum, but also benefit from superior risk mitigating tactics. Now, the way the ETF works is very unique. Like I said, it is amongst a very few dividend ETFs that is actively managed. CGDV has a multi-manager structure, each with a particular background, style, and approach, with 5 portfolio managers listed in the fund's statement of additional information. The investment objective of CGDV is to produce income exceeding the average yield on US stocks and to provide an opportunity for growth of principal consistent with sound common stock investing. So, in other words, the fund is emphasizing capital appreciation as well as dividend yield and dividend growth. So you are getting a hedge fund wrapped in an ETF, which is why it has been a favorite amongst many investors. Now, of course, there are a few downsides. For one, it is more expensive. With an expense ratio of 0.33%, it is much higher than the average. Secondly, it hasn't been around for that long. However, remember that the ETF is actively changing its holdings, and the fact that it has outperformed the S&P 500 without big tech as the primary driver gives me a lot of confidence in the manager's abilities. And lastly, the yield is pretty low. At 1.5%, it doesn't compete with the others on the list. However, that may change over time because the managers could shift to higher dividend assets if they see a need to. Plus, the dividend growth of the fund is very strong, and remember, the fund's ability to minimize volatility is the main focus for investors moving into 2026. So there you have it. These are my top dividend ETFs. Let me know what you guys think, as well as which other funds you'd like me to cover. And that is all for this one. If you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the thumbs up button for the YouTube algorithm. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only and is not financial, investment, tax, or legal advice. Discussions of ETFs, investing strategies, market updates, or specific funds are general, not tailored to your financial situation, and should not be relied upon for decision making. Investing involves significant risks, including total loss of principal, and past performance does not guarantee future results. I am not a registered financial advisor. My content reflects personal research and publicly available information. I may earn affiliate commissions from mentioned products or links disclosed per FTC guidelines, but these do not influence my opinions. Always consult a licensed financial professional and verify information independently. By watching this, you agree I am not liable for any losses or consequences from your actions. International viewers should consult local regulations.